Let me ask Mike Bresnahan that, Laker analyst here, Spectrum Sportsnet. If I said you're starting your team, Klay Thompson or Draymond Green?
Klay Thompson.
Okay.
He can bury from depth. Love that kid.
But Draymond Green in today's NBA, with he can guard a 1 and to a 5 and play, a couple of different positions. Defensively, attitude, leader, hit a shot occasionally.
Yeah, he's been a little off lately.
Yeah.
So he needs to hit some more threes for my taste. But you know what's funny? In talking to all these players who are coming up to the Laker pre-draft workouts, I ask a lot of them, hey, what NBA player do you want to emulate? Who do you think you are? A lot of them, mostly like the 6'9", 6'10" guys, keep saying Draymond Green because they want to say that they do have the whole package, offense and defense. I have noticed that a lot lately. A lot of kids want to be him.
You got a chance to take in LiAngelo Ball's workout yesterday. Would you describe the atmosphere of this workout?
Yeah, Dan, it felt like a Laker playoff series, kind of like an off day, maybe like a practice. Probably about 30 to 40 journalists there. A lot of attention, obviously. Anything Lonzo or Lakers, especially this time of year, there's not much going on, is going to garner plenty of attention. And LiAngelo Ball apparently has not spoken to the media since reading a statement at least 6 months ago when he came back from China. And obviously the media curious to see what he has to say in the time period since then. A lot of curiosity about LiAngelo Ball working out for the Lakers. One of 6 guys, by the way, at their pre-draft situation yesterday.
Why did they bring him in?
You have to take Magic Johnson at his word right now. And he was asked that by the LA Times. And he kind of stretched out his arms and said, we've got to look at everybody. And right now the Lakers do have the 25th and the 47th pick in the draft, which is about 3 weeks away. But you have to also think, well, they have a relationship with the brother. They definitely are familiar with the family. And maybe they want to see if this kid could play for the team at some point. So for now, I'm going to go with what Magic said. And, hey, we're casting a wide net. And by the way, the Lakers have indeed worked out players who have less skill than LiAngelo at this point.
Yeah, we had Seth Greenberg on last hour, and he said this kid can't play in the NBA. He said if I was still at Long Beach State, I wouldn't have recruited him to play there.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to see what the Lakers do going forward. I mean, do they put the kid on their summer league team? Do they just make this a one-time thing where, hey, they look at him and they say, this is not a good fit. And by the way, he started off pretty slowly yesterday as far as shooting, not a lot of patch buckets. But at the end, he definitely caught fire and started shooting better anyway. So I'll tell you what, I was a little surprised by his height, too. He was listed at 6'5", and I'm 6'2", and he and I stood eye to eye.
Oh, boy.
So unless he's a really fast point guard or the next Steph Curry, I have to wonder where his place in the NBA will be.
How secure is Lonzo Ball's place on this team?
Very secure. I get that question a lot, and I've talked to plenty of people over there about it. And the deal is they like the player they got. They absolutely do. And everyone says, well, Donovan Mitchell. Well, yeah, Lonzo went number 2 overall, and Donovan went number 13 overall. But a lot of teams passed on Donovan, all right? And more people say, what about Jason Tatum? Well, he actually would not work out for the Lakers because his camp apparently thought that, well, the Lakers have Brandon Ingram. That's good enough for them. And the Lakers are going to go with a point guard, which indeed they did. Lonzo definitely does need to work on some things, though. All right. He missed 30 games because of 3 different injuries. So he's got to get stronger during the offseason. Also, he's got to work on some of his percentages. 45% from the free throw line, that will not get it done, especially for a point guard. And he was only about 30% from three-point range. So he's got to improve a lot of things and also add kind of a floater. He was not real good close to the basket when he was on the move as a rookie.
Talking to Mike Bresnahan, who covers the Lakers, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. We were speculating here prior to the show and then starting the show on the guys asked me what I thought LeBron would do. And I start to survey this situation with Houston or Philadelphia. You throw in the Brian Colangelo caveat as well. And my gut feeling is LeBron may look at the Lakers and go, I don't know. I want to see where they are in a year. Philadelphia, that might be a possibility. But also, I get the feeling LeBron might just say, let me sign one more year in Cleveland and then survey the situation. What do you think?
Yeah, how different, Dan, would the landscape be if Cleveland had lost that Game 7 to Indiana in the first round? Then everything's on the table for LeBron. Instead, Paul George, to me, is the guy who's more likely to be on the move because he won, 2 playoff games with his team? Whereas here we are still talking about LeBron, and we're about to enter June. So I think, there's a chance that LeBron stays in Cleveland. I still think he'll be on the move. I always go back to what he said during the All-Star break. And NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, his annual sit-down with reporters back in February, he said, maybe we'll take a look at changing the playoff configuration. Since the West is always so much better than the East, maybe we'll combine the two conferences once the postseason begins. And then LeBron was asked about it either that day or the very next day, and he was like, no, I love the way things are lined up right now. All he knows is the East. And it's almost like an intentional walk for him every single year to get to the finals. And not quite the case this year, obviously. A couple Game 7s already for him. But you get the feeling that he will stay in the East.
Who's going to be with the Lakers starting next season?
Boy, that's a great question, Dan. Obviously Paul George seemingly could be the one to leave OKC and join the Lakers. You got the Southern California native. You get the feeling the Lakers are going to start courting him very actively in about a month when free agency begins, 9:01 p.m. Pacific time, June 30th. I would not be surprised if he is on the team. LeBron seems a little bit more like a reach right now, although as everyone's reported, he does have family in L.A., and he's got at least 1 or 2 houses out here as well. Kawhi Leonard, I don't see quite as much because I'm not sure the Lakers want to give up their young assets at this point. So he could be also a little bit more of a long shot. But I do see Paul George, and maybe they're going to do what they did last season, sign a couple of vets to 1-year deals. They gave Kentavious Caldwell-Pope 1 year and $18 million. And they acquired Brook Lopez in the last year of his contract, and he was about $23 million. So if all else fails, I see them doing a bunch more 1-year deals. And, hey, they're looking at it as a 2-year process. If they don't get anyone this summer, next summer you look at Klay Thompson potentially being free. Kawhi Leonard could be free in a year, a free agent in a year, as opposed to costing you a lot of assets right now. And also Jimmy Butler is potentially a free agent next July.
What about draft prospects for the Lakers?
25 is a little low. They're ecstatic to be back in the first round. They got the pick from Cleveland as part of the Isaiah Thomas trade. They've done pretty well at the end of the first round the last couple of years. Last year, they got Kyle Kuzma at 27. Josh Hart became a starter by the end of the year, and he was a 30th overall pick. They're happy to be back in the first round. It doesn't seem like a real deep draft, but as we can tell, they're definitely doing a lot of due diligence, bringing in a lot of players. Last year, similar situation. They had 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick. They brought in about 100 players. I imagine it will be about the same number this summer.
Mike, great stuff. Good to check in with you. Glad to have you back on the program. Thanks for joining us.
Anytime, Dan.
That's Mike Bresnahan, Laker reporter, analyst, Spectrum Sportsnet.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.